Hello. Hey, this is Kriz, and I have EEC. And since having been born in the middle of the last century, I've had a few years trying to figure out how to deal with some of the issues we have, namely in this case, when you're missing some fingers. Now, let me turn the camera a little bit over and talk about gloves. Having grown up on a farm with all kinds of duties like feeding the chickens and dealing with the hauling hay and that kind of stuff. At first, when I was little, they would just have me go out with my three brothers and pick up hay and throw it on the truck, and I never had any gloves to use. As I got a little bit older, I thought, well, maybe I'll just grab a pair of mittens and put them on. Because, putting on a regular pair of gloves like this, those extra fingers kind of get in the way, right? You can't really grab on anything because a flappy finger with no other glove with no finger in it just gets in the way. So several years ago, I figured out, okay, I'll get a pair of gloves, and what I'll do is I'll cut off a finger or two, the ones that I don't need, because, they make gloves wrong in the store. You have to fix them when you get them home. So I did that for a while, but the problem with that is when you cut off a finger or two of a glove, then what happens is there's a hole, and things like bark dust and filbert shells and dirt and stuff will get in there, kind of defeating the purpose of the glove, right? So what I do now is a little bit different. So now I'm going to turn the camera again and show you what I do. So what I do, first I get a pair of gloves, and it's best if they're the same material all the way around. Some work gloves will be leather on the palm and the fingers, but then the top side will be some kind of mesh, and that doesn't work quite so well. So I have these leather gloves here, and what I'm going to do is actually, instead of cutting off a finger, like this one, I'm missing actually the two fingers between the thumb and the outer two fingers. So I only need two fingers in my glove, not four. So if I put it on, you might think I would go to the outer two fingers because that's the ones I have. But actually, I have found that most gloves work better when I grab on to the two fingers in the middle. So you see that? Now this glove's going to work for me pretty well. I'm not going to have these floppy, empty fingers in the way. So now what to do with them? Instead of cutting them off, what I do now is I glue them back. And I'll show you how I do that. First of all, I use a hot glue gun, simply because it's much more immediate in action. And then I get it warmed up, and then as I start to bring a finger back to glue, I want it in a pretty flat, non-wrinkled area. So I'm going to do this big finger first. I'm going to fold it back like that. So I just put the hot glue on here, and you might think, oh, I'm going to ruin the glove. Well, actually, if it will work. Actually, it doesn't really ruin the glove. The leather seems to take hot glue pretty well. So that's that finger. I've got a flat area here to fold it back on. I just fold it back like that. And because it's hot glue, it sets pretty quick. It doesn't burn me inside because of the leather protects the skin on my hand. So I just hold it there for a little bit till it cools off. And there you go. I got that one out of the way permanently. Waterproof. It works. I haul wood with it. I work in the yard. I grab on the blackberries. The thorns never get through. It works really well. And yet when I need to use a tool, like a pair of pliers, it's not in the way. Those empty fingers are not in the way. So again, I'm going to make another flat area for this other finger. Put some glue on that hand. Oh, doggone this thing. There we go. I may have gotten a little bit, oh boy, I got a big glob there. But anyway, doesn't really matter how, these are work gloves. Nobody's going to really care how they look. So there I got another flat area. Pull it back. You don't want the glue to touch you because it gets pretty darn hot. So there you go. So now I have both fingers out of the way. See that? And now, if I want to, I put on the other glove, which I already did before I turned on the camera. And now I'm ready to go out and work in the yard, get some firewood, lift some lumber, build something, I'm ready to go. So that's my tip of the day.